All right, there's one more person who has to follow that. Good job. Okay, will Nathan Gemayel please take the stage?
Hey bitches! Okay. I'm gonna stand back here because there's an obvious sexiness about me, and you can see it up from right there. Okay, so seriously, I'm super nervous right now because I've told this story at least 20 times to my Herman Munster portrait in my house, but I've always told it differently. So wow, and there's a crap load of people here. Okay, so anyway. When I first found out that the theme for the night was all about being mortified, my first instance was to tell a story about the time I went to St. Louis Fashion Week, and I got to hang out with all these really hot models. And then I got home, and my roommate was like, "Dude, you have something red on your pants." It wasn't something red on my pants. It was my underwear, where my jeans had this split all the way down the back of them. Yeah, not good. Anyway, so then I thought that the story was about our youth, but clearly tonight they haven't been about our youth. So anyway, so I'm just going to tell a story about Justin Neesner's slumber party. Although, I'm sorry, we were a bunch of guys, so it wasn't a slumber party. It was more of a, I was just staying the night over at his house. Which, that doesn't sound too good either. Anyway, so the thing you should know is that I grew up with this group of friends, and I was always in our class all the way through high school. I was the kid that always got made fun of. I was kind of the nerdy guy, and but about my junior year in high school, people stopped making fun of me, because that's about the time you figure out that you should really just make fun of people behind their backs. Let's be honest, right? So anyway, up to that point, I was kind of like the outcast. So anyway. So, but I did have these good friends that were friends of mine in the neighborhood, definitely not at school, you know. They couldn't be seen hanging out with me. Anyway, so we had this group, there were like 6 of us in our group. We kind of had that, like the people who came in every now and then. There was this kid named Cornell Taylor, and he was known to be a fierce liar, which is funny because now he's a lawyer. And anyway, but he would come to school and he'd be like, "Last night Michael Jordan came over to my house for supper." And I'd be like, "Really? What'd you feed him, Wheaties?" And then, and there was Richard Newton, and he had this weird mole in the middle of his nipple. And we all thought it was weird, but his parents had a pool table, so it was okay. And then there was Justin Neesner. And Justin Neesner was like way cool and artistic. Like he was hipster before any of us knew what it was to be a poor trust funder, you know? And then there was Nat King. Both of us were named Nathan, but clearly I was the alpha male of the group. So he had to go with Nat. Anyway, but he had all these phases of, I don't know what you call them, vocational aspirations, if you will. And for example, he wanted to be in the Army, and so he'd invite us all over to play Army, and he'd be wearing his camo pants, and we'd all sit on the back porch and eat hobo packs. And then he wanted to be a ninja, and he would come to school with his tabby boots on, and you know, it had the 2 toes so you could climb on brick walls. And I remember one time in Mrs. Poe's music class, I turned to the right, and he's playing with a throwing star. This is in the 4th grade. And I'm like, "Dude, where'd you get that from?" And he reaches down and he pulls out an encyclopedia and he opens it up and the pages are hollowed out so the throwing star fits inside of it. Yeah. He was the real deal. Although he kind of lost his shit when in high school he took his girlfriend up the back of this mountain that overlooks our neighborhood. And it started to get dark and she started to get scared and hyperventilating. And so as he saw on MacGyver, he took his belt off of his pants and he tied her to the tree so she wouldn't fall off the cliff. So that was genius. Wow. Anyway, and then, as I already said, I was a big nerd. And but I love my parents and they loved me and always did the good thing and it was always nice and super righteous, let's be honest. And so then the final person in our group was Adam. And Adam was a really kind bully. And, right. And the reason I say that is because he had 2 older brothers that would beat the crap out of him on a daily basis. And so he brought that kind of angst and anger to our group, and we would play games like Puma, where, we'd run towards each other on all fours, and he would pounce on top of us. Or there was the other game where we'd all lean up against the wall, and he would beat the crap out of us with a tetherball. So those are the kind of fun games that Adam would come up with. So anyway, every year we would go over to Justin's house for his birthday, which was on September the 19th. And we do all the traditions, we would grill out, we would scare his sisters, we would make a haunted house, we would always have to roll somebody's yard. And so we all had supplies that we had to bring for the night. Somebody had to bring a rope, somebody would have to bring batteries for the go-by battle station. Definitely a few people, I'll get to that later by the way. Anyway, some people would have to bring some toilet paper, and finally somebody had to bring some cheese on wheat crackers. And the reason is, Adam just really liked the cheese on wheat crackers. So, anyways, we all gathered together for Justin's party. We're having a good night. We scared the crap out of Justin's sisters. And then we played this other game authored by Adam Lively called Heads Will Roll. And so basically, I'll just tell you about this real quickly. So basically what would happen is he would turn off the lights, he'd give us 10 seconds to hide, and then he would push the go battle station button, and you'd see the red light flash 3 times, and you would hear, meh, 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 and then you would hear Adam go, heads will roll. You can imagine the tension in the room, because Justin's room was way small. It was like maybe a fourth of the size of this stage. And so, anyway, so we're all hiding in place, and we're all thinking to ourselves, please don't find me, please don't find me. But you knew that you were found because you'd hear Adam go, oh shit, And so he had this pillow that was full of feather down, and so he pushed it all to the bottom of the pillowcase, and he twisted it around so that it could be referred to as a battle axe. And so he would just beat the crap out of him. So that was basically Heads Will Roll. So we did this for years, and actually one year we all tried to substitute for that part, but let's be honest, Adam was the best at it. So seriously, he had tenure in that role. Anyway, so then it's time to roll the yard. And of course we have to roll Jennifer Stamen's yard because she was the resident senior hottie of Dobbins Bennett High School. And so since we couldn't date her, we might as well trash her yard. So anyway, so we all get on our black clothes and we get our hat on and stuff, and Adam's like, wait, I have a great idea. Listen, we've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years, we've been rolling people's yards. What we should do, we need to up our game. Seriously, we're 15, no child games anymore. So what we do is we unroll all the toilet paper, we rip it up into shreds, and we put it in like 100 Ziploc bags, and then we pour water in it, and make this really gross, goopy toilet paper concoction. So we throw it all in the garbage bags, and we go on our way. We march up the hill. Jennifer lived like 6 houses up from Justin. And so, anyway, so we get to the top of the hill, and he pulls us over behind the bush, and he's like instructing everybody where they need to go. And so he counts 1, 2, 3. And so we bolt for the yard. I mean, we're throwing that shit everywhere. It's like on top of the roof. It's on the side of the house. It's in the freaking mailbox. That shit is everywhere. It's amazing. And we're almost done until we hear this man from inside the house go, hey! So, at this point, we're all pooping in our pants, Like, seriously, you could have built a house with the amount of bricks that we had shit. Anyway, so we're all like scattering all over the place, and Nat runs into a tree, and he falls on his back, and so Adam comes back to pick him up with adrenaline, and just like pulling people, and we're running, and we're all running down the hill. And we get to Justin's house, and we go in, and we're like, good Lord, that was crazy. But thank goodness it's over, and we're safe. So anyway, so it took us like 2 hours to fall asleep after the adrenaline. And so the next morning, we have breakfast, and we go on our way. I personally had another birthday party to go to. Let's be honest, that was pretty cool. Well, actually, maybe not. Anyway, so I go to this other birthday party, and I come home, pull in the driveway because my friend's mom was dropping me off, and I walk in the back door, and my dad is sitting at the dinner table, and there's this big old bag of Pal's Sudden Service, and Pal's Sudden Service is like the local McDonald's kind of grease pit, and you have not lived, let me tell you people. I know none of y'all have ever been there, but you've never lived until you've had a chili dog with a large Frenchie fry. They're Frenchie fries, not French fries. Anyway, and so my dad even went so far as to get me a chocolate peanut butter milkshake. So I'm thinking, dude, this is like the best weekend of my life. I had Justin's party last night. I had the party today. I got to hold Lana Wilder's hand for the first time. And here I am with this huge bag of Health 7 service. It's all good. So I sit down, and my dad's like, so how was Justin's party? I'm like, oh, it was good, you know, the regular stuff. Did anything interesting happen last night? Yeah, Adam beat the crap out of us. And he's like, tell me something, did you fill up a bunch of Ziploc bags with toilet paper and water and throw it all over the Stamon's house? And it was instant waterworks for me because I'm like so ashamed and mortified. And so like the tears are coming down. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just again and Adam and it was like a scene out of the Christmas Story, like when the kid cusses, you know, he says F word from his parents. Just like that, I identify with that dude so much. Anyway, so then he makes me go back and tell my mom the whole story, and again it's like, I'm sorry, and Adam and anyway. So long story short, I get grounded for a month. So anyway, so later that night, we're sitting around the dinner table eating pizza. My family did a lot of eating, by the way. So I'm eating the pizza, and we're talking, and at this point we're at a joking level, and they're okay with the situation at this point. And my dad goes, you like that Jennifer Stamon, don't you? And they say, well, yeah, she's pretty good looking. He goes, well, the next time you want to roll her house, you might want to take some of the toilet paper and wipe the shit off your face. And there you go.